Agecoutay. Good afternoon. I'm Creeson Agecoutay. Welcome to APTN National News. Thank you for joining us. Following a year-long investigation by APTN, the Chief Coroner of Ontario has taken over the case of two Mohawk fishermen who drowned on the Bay of Quinte in southeastern Ontario in the spring of 2015. Police claim the pair were stealing fish, overloaded their boat, and caused it to sink. But APTN Investigates journalist Kenneth Jackson uncovered new information that changes that narrative.
True to his word, the Chief Coroner of Ontario brought his boating experts to Tyndonega.
You helped us to think about some questions with the family about how the boat sank in 2015. And with those questions, I wanted to try to see if we can get a better understanding of what happened with the boat.
The Chief Coroner promised he would do his own tests. After a year-long APTN investigation, revealed two Mohawk fishermen couldn't have drowned the way police claim.
So I've asked two experts, one a forensic engineer and one a naval architect, to work together and help to give some ideas about how the boat could have sank, how the boat got to the bottom of the water.
Two previous police investigations reached the same conclusion. Tyler Miracle and Maddie Fairman overloaded their boat with stolen fish on the night of April 26, 2015, and the boat sunk flat to the bottom of the Bay of Quinte. Police told the families their boys must have drowned in the process, but the families said it never made sense.
It's just awful, many sleepless nights, like the grieving, the nobody wants to help, you know. And I just said I was never going to stop, and here I am today.
A mother always knows. And it's because of Tammy Miracle's perseverance for the truth that the experts are here today. That's Eugene Lisho, the forensic engineer and a specialist in creating 3D models. He's taken various measurements of Tyler's 14-foot aluminum boat, along with Jamie Buckley, the naval architect.
Is just looking at the boat and using their big, where you can see the machinery, to capture all of the measurements. And then Eugene and Jamie put it into software, and they can do all kinds of testing on the computer. And then that will start our process. Because this isn't the end. Like, this is figuring things out step by step. And then that'll inform what we do next as to whether we come back and whether we go into the water. Because we talked about
taking the boat back on the water is exactly what we did this past spring. First, we put 1,100 pounds in the boat and tried to sink it. We pushed down on the sides. We rocked back and forth. We put all the weight at the front. Then we put the same size of motor the fishermen had and took it out on the water. We turned it sharply. We put 1,500 pounds in it and drove it into our wake. But it wouldn't sink like police said it did. So now the family waits on the coroner and his experts.
I think they're going to find that something happened out there that night and that Tyler didn't sink his boat on his own.
Someone did it.
Someone did it.
Kenneth Jackson, APTN National News, Tyndonega, Ontario.
For more on that story, head over to our website at aptnnews.ca/our stories/secrets of the Bay. An update now from the Grand Rapids RCMP on a story we first told you about weeks ago. A second body has now been recovered by searchers on Lake Winnipeg belonging to a 28-year-old man. On June 28th, 3 boaters went missing on Little Moose Lake near Grand Rapids, Manitoba. For weeks, RCMP families and searchers have been looking for those 3 boaters. The adult males aged 28, 29, and 31 are from Mississippiwistic Cree Nation and were traveling by boat to the north basin of Lake Winnipeg to hunt moose. It's believed their boat may have capsized or lost control from bad weather. The body of the 31-year-old man was recovered one day after he went missing, and the 28-year-old's remains were located yesterday. The search continues for the remaining 29-year-old man. Saskatchewan RCMP recently looked into an unsolved homicide on the Muskeg Lake Cree Nation. On July 16th, a search was conducted as part of an investigation into a community member's death. Joanne Wolfe Lafon, who was 56 years old, was discovered deceased outside of her home on Muskeg Lake in January of 2019. The RCMP deemed the death suspicious. Initially handled by Major Crimes, the case has now been transferred to the Historical Case Unit. It investigates unsolved homicides, suspicious deaths, missing persons, and unidentified remains. Corporal Tanya Gordon said this is an active investigation and details cannot be provided now, but updates will follow. Cindy Blackstock has been a tireless advocate for First Nations children in care for many years, but she was not part of a major announcement of First Nations child welfare reform last week. At the AFN Assembly in Montreal, National Chief Cindy Woodhouse-Neepanak announced the organization had reached an agreement with the federal government, a deal to provide $47.8 billion over 10 years to reform the First Nations child welfare system. But some have questioned why Blackstock was absent when the announcement happened. Woodhouse told APTN News Blackstock was not a part of it because she was not involved in the negotiations.
She had left the table. I guess she had some, I talked to her about it last week, and she said that she had some, I guess, things that she had wanted changed at the negotiation table or something, and that, you know, we told her that we wanted her to come back to the negotiating table because there's lots of work to do, and I hope that she comes back. The AFN, you know, always wants to welcome everybody at the table, and we can't force people, though, to be at the table.
Low-lying water and ferry mechanical issues are just some of the reasons people in the Northwest Territories are struggling this year. We'll tell you more when we're back in about 3 minutes. Welcome back. In the Northwest Territories, many communities rely on public ferries to transport people, goods, and services in and out of Fort Simpson. But with mechanical issues and low water levels there have been frequent closures and frustration is growing. The territorial-run MV Laverty Ferry shuttles people and vehicles across the Liard River. It's been out of commission since July 13th due to a mechanical issue. Fort Simpson is the regional hub for several Dehcho communities. Fort Simpson, along with the community of Wrigley, are completely cut off from the NWT highway system. It's the third ferry to experience a shutdown this summer. Water levels have been so low that even barges critical to supplying remote communities along the Mackenzie River aren't running this year. The territorial government plans to dredge the vicinity of the Liard River ferry in August and September. Meanwhile, the MV Laverty Ferry is expected to reopen Sunday after an engine part replacement.
You know, you've got people going in and out and constantly, there's activity all the time. And so when you have a shutdown like this, it affects everybody. It's a bloodline, and it's something that people feel right throughout, especially in times like this when you've got the price of gasoline and groceries just skyrocketing. The last thing that you want to do is get marooned in a place like this, and then you have to deal with the consequences.
The Manitoba Métis Federation is hoping to help revitalize downtown Winnipeg with their new purchase of 2 major buildings at the city's busiest intersection. Sav Jonesa has more.
I'm here at the famous Portage and Main intersection in downtown Winnipeg, where the Manitoba Métis Federation President David Chartrand just announced the acquisition of 2 major buildings behind me. 333 Main Street and 191 Pioneer Avenue will now become 2 new commercial properties for the MMF, and 150 of their staff will be relocated to them over the coming year.
Métis are here, but people have not been listening to them. We're hiding in plain sight. Now they're going to start seeing our brand really sparkle into the sky, and I think it'll bring great pride to the next generation. The youth will be very, very proud.
They hope to work with the private sector to fill the building's prime office spaces, which are currently mostly vacant. When asked how much the MMF paid Artis Real Estate Investment Trust for the properties, all President Chartrand would share was that it was a damn good deal at a damn good price.
We've been fortunate enough in our businesses and our ventures. There is no, you don't see a federal agent here giving me a check or a provincial government giving me a check. This is the Métis government, its own resources, and we're planning how we're going to invest them wisely, and we think this is the right approach. We're not finished. You know, we're not finished investing downtown. So we put over $120 million downtown so far, and we're not finished with that.
This makes the MMF owners of now 7 buildings in Winnipeg's downtown. Saf Jones, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
B. Bird, a multimedia artist from Montreal Lake Cree Nation in northern Saskatchewan, is hoping to elevate Indigenous voices and stories to a new audience. Bird is this year's 2024 City of Regina's Indigenous Artist in Residence. With more on this story, here's CTV's Mick Favel.
I threw the money in the air, I kicked it and shouted, "This deal sucks."
An evening filled with poetry, rhyming, and storytelling. It's a fitting way to begin the biggest endeavor yet for Montreal Lake Cree Nation artist B. Bird. He is the 2024 City of Regina Indigenous Artist in Residence. It's a chance to show his work to a whole new audience.
I'm still excited. I was surprised because a lot of artists don't get this chance, and it's a chance to actually connect with the other artists around Regina.
Positioned behind the soundboard with a camera in hand, Bird is not your typical paint and canvas artist. He's observing, turning knobs, and making sure the people on stage are sounding clear and having the proper lighting. Armed with journalism training and an eye and ear for finding his next filming location, his goal is to tell Indigenous stories and raise Indigenous voices. It's where his passion for poetry nights comes in.
We are amplifying Indigenous voices and selling their merchandise and also their books. So it's successful all around, and us storytellers, and that's what we need to do with other Indigenous artists, is amplify each other.
Since 2017, Bird has been filming and producing short films and stories. He left his home, moving where he barely knew anyone, to pursue an education in film. It was a stressful journey, and he's thankful for the support he's received. But he encourages everyone to find their voice and to pursue their dreams and passions.
You got to be strong, and you got to have that connection with your hometown. You got to have that connection with your people. It's gonna get tough, but all I gotta say is just don't give up.
Bird has big projects planned for his new role. He plans to continue enjoying the ride while at the same time helping his fellow artists along the way.
Thank you, Mick. Musician Adrian Sutherland from Ottawapiskat First Nation is our next guest on the show. He'll tell us all about his new album. Stay with us. Over on the East Coast, St. John's 23, Charlottetown 23 as well. And Ujuak 10, the Grand River 14. Seguene 23, Val-d'Or 22. Toronto 22, North Bay 19. Sioux Lookout 20, Timmins 24. Puckatawagan 25, God's Lake 23. Winnipeg 23, Dauphin 24. Swift Current 23, Yorkton 23 as well. Buffalo Narrows 23, Stony Rapids 22. Northern AB, High Level 21, Peace River 19. Lethbridge 25, Edmonton 22. Campbell River 19, Penticton 27. Dees Lake 13, Fort Nelson 16. Beaver Creek 17, Old Crow 12. Watee 19, Norman Wells 19 as well. Sax Harbor 8, Inuvik 17. Baker Lake 14, Chesterfield 13. And Iqaluit 5 and Arctic Bay 10. Our next guest is a Cree singer-songwriter from Ottawapiskat First Nation in Northern Ontario. Adrian Sutherland is known for writing about life in that remote Cree community. 4 months ago, he released a solo album, and in January, a music video titled Precious. He recently chatted with us from Ottawa. Adrian, congratulations on your latest album. Where did you get the inspiration for this album?
You know, for me, there was inspiration came from home. As most of my music is inspired by where I grew up. There were some songs on the album that I wanted to bring to life about stories of our people in the James Bay region. Also, there were some songs in the language as well, which was really important for me to include on that album.
Yeah, let's talk about that. You have 2 new songs in Cree. What are they about, and why is it important to create in your language?
Yeah, so the first song, Nutawi, which means my father, is about, you know, departed fathers, people that have left this world and onto the spirit world. I think it was important for me to write a song about that because there's just so many people in my life right now, and including myself, that have lost, you know, a parent. And I think, and also writing in the language was important for me as a language speaker. I think doing my part to revitalize language has always been a passion of mine, and I'm always learning new words as often as I can. So putting language and music and making a song is important, especially for people that are trying to reconnect and relearn their language. And the second song is Kayash, which means before. That song is about the people that came before us, our ancestors, our grandparents, and our jazz bands. I grew up in the north. I grew up, spent a lot of time on the land, and it's just like everywhere I went, I would see signs of them, you know, like old where they had their lodges, or where they had maybe axe markings on the trees and things like that. So you know, that's what that song was inspired by.
Hi, Tapway. You've collaborated with Nashville producer Colin Linden. What has that experience been like, and how has it helped you?
You know, for me, it's been such a great experience, you know, meeting somebody like Colin Linden, who is just so talented, you know, as a musician, as a producer, so well connected. It's unbelievable how connected Colin is to the music industry, but not only that, and beyond that, I think he brings a real great sort of outlook on things. He's so easy to work with. He stayed true to the sort of essence of the songs and bringing those things out and bringing them to life and adding the color to the songs. And you know, I think for me as an artist, when you're working with people like that, you want to take every opportunity to learn everything you can from a guy like Colin, because he just has so much to offer, not only as a person but as a musician, as a producer. Yeah, I've learned so much from him, you know, and he's done some playing on both solo albums that I put out. So, you know, I've been learning to play a certain style of music because he's such a, like I said earlier, he's a very, very talented musician as well. So, I mean, I've totally seen myself grown, developing, continuing to grow my craft, yeah. Not only as a songwriter, but as a player.
You're also writing a book about your life in the North. When can we expect to see that out?
Well, the hopes is to have it out next year. You know, we're sort of still back and forth on the book, and I'm hoping to have the bulk of the work behind me by this fall. So it's gonna be a little while yet before it's ready, but I'm really excited for this opportunity and to get it out into the world. I think it's been something I you know, been able to really work passionately on for the last little while, and it's just one more thing, you know, for me as a person to be given such an opportunity to write about my upbringing and not only that, but music and other things in the context of today and what's going on where I live. So yeah, I can't wait to get it out.
Well, hi Adrian, thank you for your time. We're excited for both the album and the book. We'll tell all our viewers to make sure to keep an eye out for that. Thanks again.
Miigwech.
And stay with us, because we're going to bring Adrian back to perform a song for us. That is your midday newscast. Dennis Ward will bring you your evening national newscast in a few hours. Make sure to join us again. From everyone at APTN National News, hi miigwech masicho, thank you so much for watching. Here is Adrian Sutherland closing our show today with an acoustic performance. Take it away, Adrian.
Hello, my name is Adrian Sutherland, and I'll be performing my song, Nuhtawe. Mwes chibeko ni wapa ma